I know it's hard, I know it's complicated, but I promised you I've been waiting here forever. I had a much to say, but you're not here with me. No, we're invincible, like fire in the snow. Trust me when I say you are my beautiful world, and I'm feeling it all. We should make an effort. It's true you're so far away, and it's true you don't feel the same. But if you take my hand, we can try and go back. Starting from scratch, I won't let you go. No, I can't let you go, 'cause you're my gravity, and I will never leave. I won't let you go. No, baby, I will not, because I still believe. You're my gravity. You will never be what I expected. Different frequencies, that's why we ain't connected. You know I will make it through. I got nothing to lose but you. It's true you're so far away, and it's true I can feel the same. It's another day, you know you want me to stay, but I go my way. I won't let you go. No, I can't let you go, 'cause you're my gravity, and I will never leave. I won't let you go. No, baby, I will not, because I still believe. You're my gravity. You're my gravity. You're calling out my name, but the echo numbs your pain. Sorry, but more than just a shadow, I'm more than just a man. You don't care how I feel, you don't know how I feel. No, you don't know how. I wash away the sorrow till my heart can beat again. You're my gravity. No, you're my gravity. I will let you go. The only thing that I know, you were my gravity, but now I had to leave. I will let you go. Why do you think that I want? Why do you think that I want? I know how to breathe into my gravity. 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 I know it's hard, I know it's complicated, but I promised you I've been waiting here forever. I had a much to say, but you're not here with me. No, we're invincible, like fire in the snow. Trust me when I say you are my beautiful world, and I'm feeling it all. We should make an effort. It's true you're so far away, and it's true you don't feel the same. But if you take my hand, we can try and go back. Starting from scratch, I won't let you go. No, I can't let you go, 'cause you're my gravity, and I will never leave. I won't let you go. No, baby, I will not.
Warning. The Duracell Cup Series data file you have attempted to access is out of date. Uploading current file now.
It's a brand new car from stem to stern, and it's never been raced at these speeds.
The next gen car is opportunity.
Everything is different with the exception of like the seat, the steering wheel, and your helmet.
Unknown creates excitement.
Talking about my generation.
Good afternoon, race fans. Welcome here to the Chicago Motor Speedway as we get ready to cap off the trifecta of mile racetracks here and getting set for knockout qualifying, our first of 2 rounds here for the Duracell Next Gen Cup Series drivers. 5 drivers, go or go home non-charter machines showing up here this weekend, going to be vying for 2 available spots in this weekend's starting lineup. Expedited 5 minutes in their session. Autumn Brooks, the rookie out of Garage 55, wasting no time to head on out to the racetrack. As mentioned, the trifecta of mile racetracks that we've run here during the course of the last 3 weeks. We started off with Hillside a couple of weeks ago, Iowa Speedway last week, and now Chicago Motor Speedway. Maybe one of the tougher of the mile racetracks on the schedule in the fact that I kind of compare it to a more spacious New Hampshire. Not a whole lot of banking to be able to work with here at this racetrack. Only 6 degrees in the corners, 2 degrees on the straightaways. You have to have a very good handling race car if you're going to make any forward progress and make good lap time at a track like this. And there's very little room for error as well. Autumn Brooks with a little aid of some draft there off the back of Jose Mills, most winningest driver in the Duracell Cup Series. Well, I should say tied for most wins in the Duracell Cup Series now. Jose looking to make his first start of the season. The All-Star car out of Blue Oval Automotive. That team overall is, I can't say they've been horrible, but I can't say they've been great. Caleb Fogler, his finishes have actually been pretty good as of late. They've actually been picking it up. But Benjamin Snyder has been kind of iffy. And Zachary Fitzwater has been kind of mired mid-pack most of the season. So right now, Autumn Brooks and Jose Mills, with kind of being together, they've been able to aid each other with some draft. They were first and second, but Mills just got dropped down to third. Kyle Langland actually jumped up to second. Well, Hiccup Bush, we saw him last week at Iowa, looking to make his first career Duracell Next Gen Cup Series start. Came up just short of advancing in knockout qualifying. He will be attempting the rest of the season in the 3rd entry out of World NOS Racing. Right now he is 4th on the charts at a 28.303. And there is his teammate Kyle Langland. Kyle looking to make his 4th start on the season. 27.871 has him currently 2nd place and getting a little bit of a draft off of the back of Bryce Egan. These 2 drivers here Egan and Langland, they'll be facing off against each other later on this afternoon, both participating in the Duracell Ultra Light Series race. Egan in the All-Star car out of Trackhouse Racing, and Langland, of course, in the 26 out of World NOS Racing. Bryce Egan trying to make what would be his 11th start on the season, as his lap time improved, but his positioning did not. Looks like Jose Mills may be coming to pit road here with less than a minute remaining. That may be all she wrote for him. He may feel he doesn't have anything left to be able to improve his lap time. Autumn Brooks still sits top of the board with a 27.756. Hiccup Bush looking for a pickup on his 28.016. No pickup there, though he still is running the 28.0s. Bryce Egan now pulls in behind Kyle Langland. Let's see if maybe he can put down a lap time here with nearing 10 seconds remaining. He's looking to beat a 27.871. Well, correction, Langland actually just improved to top of the board. And no improvement for Egan. 27.702 for Kyle Langland. Going to eclipse the 7.56 by Autumn Brooks, moves her down to second place. But with zeros on the clock and the red flag displayed, it looks like Langland and Brooks will be the two that will qualify in. Langland with a monster lap at the close of the session. Lap times are still being accepted. They did actually just accept the lap time for the 93, though there was no improvement on his 7.02. But it will look like it will be Kyle Langland making his 4th start in the season. Autumn Brooks will be making her 11th start, as they were the two fastest here in knockout qualifying, the only two drivers to break into the 27.7s. Everybody else was in the 27.9s or slower. So the two spots available in tomorrow afternoon's Cup Series race will go to the 93 of Langland, the 62 of Brooks. Hiccup Bush going to just miss out on his first career start once again. Jose Mills will also miss out. Jose, I actually just checked, he actually would have, if he had locked in, he would have been making his 2nd start on the season. And then Bryce Egan also going to miss out, as he was the slowest of the 5 here in knockout qualifying. But again, as we said, we will actually see Langland, Brooks, and Egan, all 3, in the lights race here later on this afternoon. So let's now head for our 2nd round of qualifying, find out who's going to start on the pole here this weekend, right after this quick commercial break. Thank you for tuning in to today's broadcast on NNSCRA TV. If you enjoyed your watching, it would help us out a lot if you'd hit that like button. Also, if you're not already, be sure to subscribe to become a part of the NNSCRA crew today. And if you're on your phone, be sure to click that bell to be notified whenever we have a broadcast here on NNSCRA TV. Once again, we thank you for your support, and we hope you continue to enjoy today's broadcast. We welcome you back to the Chicago Motor Speedway, getting ready now for our 2nd and final round of qualifying for the Duracell Next Gen Cup Series drivers. These drivers gearing up for their 18th race of the season. We mentioned about the fact that this is the last week for a while that we'll be seeing the Duracell Next Gen and Duracell Ultra Light Series cars together for a race weekend. It'll be just the Cup drivers for a couple of weeks at New Hampshire and Donkey Kong's Jungle Raceway before lights will be back to join the Cup drivers at the Kentucky Speedway. Ten minutes here in this final round of qualifying. Dylan Poteet was the first driver out onto the racetrack. Dillon coming into this one 26th in the standings. Struggled last week at Iowa, lost 4 spots. It's been really interesting to kind of follow a lot of these different organizations and how some drivers are doing really well and other drivers are struggling. There's no, like, consistency of one team overall doing really, really well. Carson Gumb's been to victory lane 3 times. He's in the fight for the regular season championship, and yet Dylan Poteet, who was in the Final Four 1 season ago with the championship on the line, only has 2 top 5s in these first 17 races. So they're trying to figure out maybe what's going on there with the 31 car, why the 19's having so much success, but the 31 car is struggling. As we'll start to see lap times scrolling in on the top of the board. It's going to be a lot of movement, I think, here in the first 5 minutes of the session. We're not going to really have a clear idea of who's got the fastest lap and is going to be trying to defend that pole until we get a little bit further into the session here. Keep an eye on this driver, Anthony McCrory. He's going to be starting on the pole for the Light Series race here later on this afternoon. Had a really fast car in yesterday's qualifying session and looking to translate that speed over here to the Cup Series side. Anthony 39th in the point standings coming to this one. And there's Kyle Langland. We saw him qualify his way in just moments ago through knockout qualifying along with Autumn Brooks. Right now he is 6th fastest in that 93, so that speed from round 1 rolling over here to round 2. We were talking about Blue Oval Automotive and, you know, the drivers out of that organization, the former champion Caleb Fogler. He currently finds himself in the 23rd position in points. Really struggled at the beginning of the season, but as I said, it seems like he's starting to finally put it together. Had a great run last week at Iowa, jumped up 10 spots in the standings. So keep an eye on this car because he might have something here down the home stretch when we end up starting to get closer towards the playoffs. We've ended up having a number of different drivers go to victory lane the last couple of weeks. Off of the All-Star break, Ryan Brommer snapping that winless streak, getting back into victory lane. Keith Batson getting back in the winner's circle. Connor Breton as well. And most recently, R.J. Bishop finally finding his way back into victory circle. As there you see the said 98. So with a number of different names now start to pop up, pick up some checkered flags here, it's making things interesting around the wild card position, maybe potential final positions, points paying positions for playoff spots. Now, we still got a lot of racing still to go. I mean, you know, race 17 was completed last week at Iowa, including this weekend's race, 9 more events before we determine those 16 playoff contenders. RJ with his victory last week moved up 9 spots in the standings. He is 17th in overall points right now, and I believe, I'd have to double check on this, but I believe that he would be in the third wild card spot as things are currently scored. Right behind him, James Qualls. Qualls just put down his fastest lap of the session so far, moving up to 7th place at a 27.761. Qualls 6th in the standings. Had that flurry at the beginning of the season, a lot of consistency, was up there in the conversation for regular season champion, had the win at Indianapolis. Now he's just kind of hovering in the mid portion of the top 10. Looking to find a little bit of momentum back as Destin Bolin behind him is the top of the board. Little Rey Mysterio lap time with a 27.619. Destin, 2-time winner on the season. Let's not forget, Destin Bolin, beginning of the season, had those early victories. He ended up winning at Pocono, and then he followed up with a win at Texas. A lot of people looking at him as one of the first drivers to potentially clinch himself a spot in the playoffs. And then he had a skid, and we found ourselves talking about him down in trouble of falling out of the top 30 in the points. This team has really done a great job in putting races together. They've run some lights races as well to kind of get extra experience at some of the tracks that they don't think that they were going to do all that well at. And now we look after the All-Star break, and Destin Bolin is in the conversation of maybe working his way up into the top 10 in overall point standings. He is 15th in points coming into this thing, gained another couple of spots after last week at Iowa. So keep an eye on Destin here down this home stretch, because I think he could point his way into the top 10 despite the fact that his 2 wins would put him into a high-seeded wildcard position. Jack Mitchell, 24th on the board right now. Our winner from Phoenix, 5th in overall standings. Another driver looking solid to point his way into the playoffs. And we've had an exchange for the pole. Destin Bolin did have it. James Qualls just took it. 27.535, the fastest lap time we've seen laid down so far this weekend out of the Wix Filters Chevrolet. So Qualls looking for what would be his first pole of the season. We have had a number of different drivers capture poles so far this year. 3 drivers have captured 2 pole positions. Those drivers would include Nick Gunther, Eric Monaco, and the defending champion Jessica Shelton, who, by the way, I think is the driver to watch this weekend, because if you look at Jessica Shelton in the last couple of weeks, she ended up having the top 5 run, the runner-up finish a couple of weeks ago at Hillside, almost pulled off that victory, and then followed it up with a top 5 run last week at Iowa. This team and their mile program have been really, really good and bringing some good qualifying speed here this weekend to Chicago Motor Speedway, as she is 8th on the board, just ran a 27.737. You know, you remember back to last season, Jessica Shelton, it wasn't until the race at Chicagoland when she had the fuel strategy win just before the All-Star break that the team started really picking things up, and she was mired in the point standings at that point as well. Ended up going to victory lane later on in the season, that then put her up into the wild card conversation and eventually went on to win the title. Well, Shelton is kind of in the same predicament here. She's mired down the point standings, 37th in overall points. However, if she can get a couple of wins before the regular season comes to a close, get up into the top 30 in points, she'd be in a wild card position. She jumped up to 3rd on the board just moments ago, now down to 4th, 27.677. The improvement on her lap time. Driver that just took that 3rd spot from her, Summer Henson, the rookie out of Auto Junction Racing, with a 27.669. Summer Henson's been very impressive here as well. Summer coming into this one currently in the 22nd position in points. Did not run well last week at Iowa. That was kind of the blemish on the resume the last couple of weeks for this car. Summer Henson, though, as well, very much so still in the thick of it as far as battling for Rookie of the Year. Eric Monaco holds the current points lead, 3 points over Summer Henson, 5 points back Eric Sadler, and 6 points back Daniel Bouchard, but it's still very close amongst our 4 drivers in the rookie class. Good qualifying effort by Casey Hoyt. Multi-time winner last season, Rookie of the Year. Still looking for that first checkered flag of Season 8. 5th fastest right now for the 24 car at a 27.691. Some other drivers with some good lap times here, including Nick Gunther, just outside of the top 10, 11th fastest. Nick still looking for that first victory on the season, despite the fact he is 9th in overall points. And there's your points leader, Levi McIntyre. 17th fastest right now for Levi. Levi is a former winner at New Hampshire that we're going to next week, and this is a flat oval, so keep an eye on him here this weekend as he leads the points, but he's still searching for that first trip to victory lane here in Season 8. A lot of drivers up there inside of the top 10 that still have not gone to victory lane. Alexander Rowe, Michael Norman, Nick Gunther also still looking for their first wins on the season, despite putting together very consistent first 17 races. And session is concluded. We did not have anybody challenge James Qualls and his lightning fast 27.535 lap time, so he will lead us to the green tomorrow afternoon. Destin Bolin will share the front row with him. Summer Henson, Jessica Shelton will make up the all-female row 2, with Casey Hoyt, Eric Sadler in row 3. Matt McIntyre, good lap time from him, puts him 7th alongside of Anthony McCrory. Then R.J. Bishop, last week's winner, Cole Deaver, going to be your top 10. Anthony, very good in qualifying here this weekend. Starting on the pole for the lights race here later on this afternoon. Starting top 10, the cup race here tomorrow afternoon. We talked about Michael Norman, Nick Gunther, both trying to get their first wins of the season. They're going to be 11th and 12th here on the speed charts, with Danny Bouchard, Reggie Fogelman, and Autumn Brooks making her 11th start on the season. One of the two drivers that qualified in knockout qualifying, she'll start 15th. Langland, the other driver that qualified in through knockout, is going to start in 23rd. Look towards the rear of the field. A lot of drivers back here that are going to have to deal with working their way through traffic. A couple of the notables would probably have to be Alexander Rowe for one. Driver that comes into this race 3rd in overall points, 28 points out of the points lead. Going to start deep in the field in 38th. You also got a 2-time winner in Matt Haas starting down there in 37th. And then also Carson Gunn, 3-time winner, way back there in the 35th position. So a lot of drivers in different areas of the starting lineup. But hey, this is a race where we've seen the ability to pass. We know pit strategy will more than likely come into play. Going to be interesting to see how it all plays out here tomorrow afternoon as we draw one step closer towards the end of this regular season. Hope you guys enjoyed this qualifying session. If you did, be sure to, if you like, subscribe part of the crew today. We showed you your starting lineup for tomorrow afternoon. Later on this afternoon at 3, it's the Duracell Ultra Light Series drivers getting ready for their 15th race of the season here from the Chicago Motor Speedway. Until then, or tomorrow, whenever you join us, I'm Seth Cole, and you've been watching another broadcast courtesy of NNSCRA TV, Offline Racing at its best.
The following has been a presentation of NNSCRA TV for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this telecast or any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the consent of the NNSCRA is prohibited. NNSCRA would like to thank all of our loyal fans, and we hope you enjoyed today's broadcast.